to Germiston. This is in Ekurhuleni, where officials were inspecting or are inspecting a steel company to ensure compliance with labour regulations, part of the ongoing campaign that started a few weeks ago. Several managers and employees this hour have now been arrested for various violations, and Ngobile Madlala is there and will tell us more. Ngobile, it's so interesting. We crossed you about half an hour ago or so, and already some arrests have been made. Tell us why they've been made, and just give us a sense as well of this broader program of enforcement.
Well, yes, Iman, interesting indeed. In fact, I can confirm that there's about 9 or 10 arrests now. There's one gentleman that was arrested a little earlier on with the documentation still have to be verified, and he was later taken out because they said the company does have some certain documents. They've now checked, and as a result, they've decided that that one gentleman will also be part of those now arrested. They've gone inside some of the companies that side, and they've brought about 5 people that were inside that company, making it an arrest of about 10 people now that is currently in place. So we are told that in this area, you've got roughly about 7 companies. They're all steel companies, and of course they work within the same vicinity. We know that from what we have heard from the labor departments that there was a tip-off with regards to trade call. However, when they came to the vicinity, they found out that there were more than one companies, and of course they were then called out, and you heard that very loud noise where they were calling people out of their shifts to come into this area so that they could then be verified. From what we know from Home Affairs, with those that are currently in that Home Affairs van, what we know is that their documentation now will then have to be verified. This is, of course, until they have been verified, only can they then say that they have a right perhaps to come back and work in this company. And whilst that is taking place, we know that there's also an induction that's currently taking place. This is where some of the officials within the current departments that are currently being inducted, so that they are able to come into this company and be able to then check for whatever is necessary. What we understand, Iman, is that this is a multidisciplinary operation where you find SAPS, where you find the Gauteng traffic wardens, as you can see there. They're also working, where you find as well as Home Affairs. And I want to show you what Home Affairs will do. So what you see there is some of the documentation that they will have to go through. And some of these documentation then is what they will look at. However, this is not the only documentation, Iman, that they will look at. They will also look at how the company operates. And this is when the officials, when they are done with that induction, then they'll be able to go into the company and look into the books of the different companies in terms of, are they following the standards operation, the basic standards of operating and employing people within South Africa. Now they'll look at in terms of the hours that the workers have to work, in terms of the shifts that the workers have to work, and also you all remember previously that they have spoken about these operations, explaining that for you to then hire someone who's out, who's not from the country, you have to have some documentation for them so that they are legally documented. But on top of that, you need to prove that the skills that they have are the skills that you cannot get in South Africa. So those are some of the questions that are going to be asked from some of the employers. But what you see here now, then, are employees from various parts of this company. And so what's going to happen is they're going to stay here. Whilst they're here inside, you've got the traffic wardens, you've got the police officers that are inside these areas that are checking for anyone who might be hiding or might not have come up or might not have heard when they were called. They will then bring whoever is inside to also come and make sure that they have checked on. As you can see there, these are some of the things that they're giving us as well as we are going to enter the company, and this is part of the induction and making sure that it's safe to be within the company. So we've spoken to the companies and we've asked them if they would be keen to speak to media, Iman. They've made it clear that at this point, no, they won't be speaking to us. But what they have confirmed to us is that there are over 400 people that are employed in these various companies.
Ngobile, a really interesting unfolding of events where you are, and you talked about this being the result of a multidisciplinary